everybody. Yeah, welcome back to a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all your favorite TV series from yesteryear, and then we discuss them over a glass of wine. I'm Patrick M. Dunn, and perhaps you remember me from the previous episodes, and I'm joined here this morning, as always, yeah girl, as always, by Kat Halstead, the author. Ooh.
Woo! Good morning.
Yeah, we're back. We're back in the saddle again, and we're ready to record some more hot apps of AVSP. And we're here. We're down. We're dirty. We're ready to roll in the mud. Ooga! Welcome, Kat.
Well, hello.
Yeah, how's your week been?
My week, we don't want to talk about my week.
Oh, bad times.
It's been crazy.
Bad times at Ridgemont High.
I was at work for over 12 hours the other day, so yeah.
Ooh, look at you. You probably got bags under your eye. You need to, moisturize and sleep and drink a lot of water.
I do have this great face mask I want to try. It is a vitamin C low boosting unicorn peel-off face mask from Yes to Grapefruit.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to try that later.
Grapefruits. I don't know how I feel about grapefruits on my face. I don't know.
I've used the regular grapefruit one, and I really like it. It gives you a nice, refreshing feel to your skin.
Do you smell like a morning fruit bowl afterward?
You definitely do smell citrusy when you're done with it.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll lick your face the next time I see you.
Oh my god!
Yeah, awkward. I'm like, hey, because I love myself a good grapefruit. The morning breakfast to die for. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. All right. What are we doing today? What are we doing for the first time today?
I'm sitting here how is this the first time we've done this?
And we've definitely talked about it. We definitely talked about the stars of the show.
I mean, our third episode that we don't talk about, we definitely... Or no, was it our second episode? It's our second episode. Involved one of the stars of the show, so...
Yeah, way back in the early days of a very special podcast, we decided to do a Cosby Show episode, and it starred our friend, our boy toy.
Yes.
John Ritter. R.I.P., dude. R.I.P. Miss ya. Yeah. Ouija board us. Haunt us.
So, yes, we're finally doing an episode of Three's Company.
Yeah, Three's Company 2. Which I haven't watched in a long time. I'm just going to throw this out there. It's been a while since I've watched this show.
Honestly, it's been a while since I, watched it, too. But you know what? It's so good.
Yes, so...
Just a nice, funny little escape from life.
Yeah, Three's Company was a show that I would definitely watch when I was 5, 6, 7 years old because it was in syndication.
Yeah.
All the time back then. And I just laughed at John Ritter, falling or, I don't know, doing weird things or getting hurt or, I don't know, spying on neighbors and stuff. But I never understood what the jokes were about. And then...
It was one of those shows that we could watch, but there were things that went over our heads.
Oh, yeah, there was definitely, sexual undertones.
Until we were older, and then we were like, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in, I think it was, high school or college when I finally saw the first episode again and had the cognitive ability to understand what was happening. I was like, wait. Jack is pretending to be gay so he can live in this apartment. How stupid! What the hell, Mr. Roper? Man is willing to pay you rent.
Yeah.
And you're being all you can't live here if you're single with these two girls. Oh wait, you're gay? Okay.
He had tough standards. Tough standards, that Mr. Roper.
Yeah.
I think it was right around the time when John Ritter died, which I think was 2003-ish, I believe.
It was September 11th, 2003.
Yeah, we've talked about that before because I think I'm not going to say that joke that I said in the second episode of a very special podcast, but
no,
all right.
Stop it.
Yeah, I remember it was 2003, shortly thereafter John Ritter's death, and TV Land just had marathons galore of all his shows and movies and stuff. And I remember that this was the first time I had seen Three's Company in years, probably since I was 7 years old. And I was like, wait, that was the concept of Three's Company? What? What? And then there was all these just Jack Tripper was on a date with a girl, and then he was having to play it off as one of Chrissy Snow's friends maybe, to keep it a secret from Mr. Furley or Mr. Roper or one of the two. And his date didn't know about the scenario, so it was just these weird things going on. And I was like, well, I never noticed this about Three's Company. What the fuck? I was like, oh, shook to the core.
When we first realized, it was a life change because you're hold up. That's what this is all about. This poor man has to pretend to be gay just so he can have an apartment to live in.
Yeah, wild stuff. Wild stuff. So,
Crazy.
which episode of...
The 70s, what was up with you, man? The 70s were just insane.
Yeah, I don't know. Wild times. Wild fucking times. We weren't born yet, so I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe we hadn't made our impact. Us like first-gen millennials, we hadn't made an impact on the world yet. We hadn't had our own movements yet.
Did you just call us millennials?
I said first-gen millennials, because I think...
Okay.
Didn't we find out, like, we actually are, like, the first batch of millennials?
Okay, we are from this weird time period because nobody can actually, like, agree when Gen X stopped and when millennials started. Like, there's, like, a 4-year gap. Like, there's this 4-year age range. And we are, like, smack dab in the middle of that 4-year age range, 4 or 5 year age range. So we get called Zennials.
Oh, Zennials, that's it. Yeah.
Because we've got part of the Gen X part, and we've got a little bit of the millennial. Like, I think for us, we definitely lean more towards the Gen X, though.
Yeah, I believe it depends on what article you're reading. Like, some articles classify millennials as, like, the people coming of age in the year 2000-ish. Mm-hmm. And then other articles describe it as, like, people born in that age. So it's tough. I don't know. If anyone knows the correct answer, tweet us at Very Podcast and tell us how these generations really work. We need to know. Tell me, baby girl, I need to know.
I will never accept being a millennial, though.
I mean, on one end of the spectrum, I totally get it, because, like, we're truly that first age that embraced the internet, really. So I don't know. I guess I can see it. I can see it. But you're a tough cookie. You're a tough shell to crack. You refuse to lose that title of being Gen X. Actually, all right. When I think of Gen X, I think of Winona Ryder and Janine Garofalo in Reality Bites. That's like actually what I think of. That's like, I feel like that's like a pure Gen Xer. That's like a full-on Gen X. Like Steven Dorff, River Phoenix, like that crew of people.
Like Bridget Fonda in Singles.
Yeah, like that's like Gen X to me. Like those people that were breaking away from the boomers. They didn't want to be boomers. They wanted to, I don't know, just be slackers, so-called slackers, and just, I don't know, wear flannel and, I don't know, listen to grunge and, I don't know, bitch about the corporations taking over. That's a true Gen Xer to me. But I feel like we kind of like our era, like we kind of like embrace those corporations coming in. Like, I don't know, like we loved like Pepsi commercials with like Pink and Beyonce and Britney Spears. And
I'll give you Britney Spears.
And the Coca-Cola Bears. I don't know, like we enjoyed that stuff. We call them icons, I guess. I don't know.
They are icons, those polar bears.
Yeah, shout out to those polar bears, like pushing giant beach balls down the Antarctic shorelines. Sorry that you're now skinny because of global warming. Sorry, guys. We'll send you money to save the polar caps. All right, let's get down to it, girl. Let's get down to it. What episode of Three's Company are we doing today?
We're doing an episode from Season 2. Is episode number 22, and it is called Days of Beer and Weeds.
Yeah, Days of Beer and Weeds, Wild Times, Season 2. This is like, we're down with the format. We're deep into it. The gang is established. It's Chrissy, Jack, and I always think the name of Joyce DeWitt's character. Janet. I always want to say like Susan, but I don't know. She looks like a Susan to me.
No.
You know what? I don't think I ever knew her name. Like, the entire time I ever watched the show, I don't think I ever like comprehended her name.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of the, you know, like you just always have like that show, you just like can never remember all the character names.
Yeah.
That was Three's Company for me, just because there was so many cast changes. I guess.
So you forgot about Cindy and Terry.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
Mr. Furley.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't forget Mr. Furley. Like you'll never forget Mr. Furley. But
Lana, the sex-obsessed neighbor from upstairs.
Yeah, it's just like whenever they started like replacing characters, I just forgot their names. But Joyce DeWitt was there to the very end, basically.
Yeah, she was in 171 episodes.
Yeah, and then she was
in every episode except for one.
She was like in every single episode, and then they like secretly greenlit Three's a Crowd, like the follow-up show, and just like axed her. And we're like, nope, you're not in this. Sorry, Joyce DeWitt, you gotta go. She like showed up and she was like, oh, we're doing a spin-off. And they're like, yeah, but you need to go, girl. You need to go.
You're not in it.
And then
you're not in it, honey.
Then we never saw her again. Like she literally was like never in anything again to that like.
And neither is Priscilla.
Like until like we never saw her until that like weird what was that John Ritter movie, Stay Tuned.
Oh, yeah.
And her and, like, Suzanne Summers made, like, a hot cameo.
Remote Control? No.
Stay Tuned, I think, right?
Was it Stay Tuned or was it Remote Control? I don't remember.
Remote Control was an MTV game show. We'll have to Google it. Just bring up the IMDb.
It was starring Pam Dauber too.
Bring up the IMDb, girl. Bring it up. We'll play the Price is Right theme song while we're trying to figure out the answer to this hot cue.
Okay, it was Stay Tuned.
It was Stay Tuned?
It was Stay Tuned, even though if I remember it was because they got sucked in because of a remote control.
Yeah, it was like a remote control controlled by Satan, and it sucked them into the television world, and it was just like crazy, like they were like cartoon characters, they were in a game show, they were in like sitcoms, and they were trying to escape. They were trying to escape from television, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since I was like 10 years old.
Same.
I remember loving it at the time, though. I'm sure it doesn't age well, though.
It's not something that like pops up on the TV guide, and you're like, oh, hey, yeah, let me dive into that. I did about a year ago dive into Problem Child for the first time in a long time.
How does that hold up? How does Problem Child hold up?
I get why like 9-year-old me loved it, but it's kind of hard to watch as an adult.
Is it too childish? Is it too like weird? And
it's just like, why is this kid like? There's so many things like wrong that you just want to be like, no. Why is this orphanage not vetting these potential parents? Kind of thing. There's like a lot of like questions left for me. You know?
I don't know. Some things you just like have to not revisit, like Drop Dead Fred, or like every cartoon you ever watched when you were little.
Fred did not hold up.
Oh, I'm sure not. It was fun to see Phoebe Cates in something in 1991, but watching it in like 2010, I was like...
To be fair, until I was about 22, I thought Drop Dead Fred was Beetlejuice.
Whoa.
Like, I never knew the name of the movie. There was this weird guy in like a black and white suit hanging out with a girl with dark hair. I'm guessing
there must be like a 2-3 year period where you confuse things with other properties. Like you thought Stay Tuned was Remote Control. So, I don't know. Maybe you just like forgot. You're brainwashed into thinking other stuff. Who knows? We'll have to, if we ever get a time machine,
Mandela effect.
If we ever get a time machine, we'll go back to like that era and just like find out like why you thought all this stuff. Who knows? We'll figure it out. To be fair,
my dad might have told me it was Beetlejuice.
Maybe he didn't want you to watch Beetlejuice and you really wanted to see Beetlejuice, so he just told you Drop Dead Fred was Beetlejuice.
I think that's probably what it was. The funny thing is, my dad was definitely the one who was like, you can't watch that. You're not allowed to watch this. Kind of thing, and then my mom was like,
whatever.
Fine.
Oh yeah, like I think I learned like through this podcast that like you weren't allowed to watch MTV till you were like 15 or something.
Yeah, I was like, I could finally watch it like when the OJ trial happened, because it was the only thing. And my mom was like, there's nothing else for you guys on TV besides the OJ trial, so yeah, you guys can watch MTV.
So you probably missed a lot of like pivotal MTV moments, like Lisa Loeb singing "Stay at the Beach House," and like Kurt Cobain "Dead Weekend."
It pretty much came in right after a few months after Kurt Cobain died.
Oh yeah, so you missed like that whole like weekend, like that wild weekend. It was just like Nirvana mania, and like Kurt Loda just like breaking news like every hour with like hot new details, and like Courtney Love giving the eulogy.
Yeah, like I remember I didn't even know who Nirvana was when he died, and all my friends at school were like, excuse me? I'm like, I'm not allowed to watch MTV. I'm not allowed to listen to Z100.
I think that was like one of the defining moments of my like middle school years, was that April 1994, and it was like the first. I was old enough to like realize like a celebrity had died, and this was like my first celebrity death, and it was wild because like you always hear about like when you're like 6 or 7, you like someone tells you that like John Lennon's dead. You're like, he's dead? Like you mean when I hear the Beatles on the radio, like it's not like a live rendition of Help or whatever, I don't know, Abbey Road or whatever. I literally used to think like when you heard like a song on the radio, like they were actually singing it like live, like right then and there.
Oh, Patrick.
I didn't understand like recorded music until like maybe I was like 6 or 7, and I was like, oh, like you could go to the store and buy a tape or a record. Like, oh. And I felt the same way about TV. Like I used to think like when you watch TV that they were actually like putting on a play like right then and there.
Yeah, I used to think like there were little people in the TV performing these different shows. Like, what do you know as a kid? You don't know. And remember, back then TVs were like these big boxes. So for all you knew, there were little teeny tiny people in TV.
Yeah.
Acting out these stories.
And it was like when you saw John Ritter on Three's Company, And then, I don't know, like a week later, you saw him on something else, and you're like, wait a second, he's not Jack? Like, what? He's somebody else, too? What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's confusing. It's wild stuff. And I remember one time, I used to talk to the TV, and I remember I was watching something on Nickelodeon, and I think the character on the television set had like asked a question, and I answered the question, and then he broke the fourth wall and like responded, and I was like scared. I remember I was watching TV with my cousin, and he just like responded. I was scared, and I ran out of the room. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Well, it's so awkward to watch like the Nick Jr. shows with the nephew sometimes, because like Dora the Explorer or whoever, like whichever little guppy or whoever will be like, what's this shape? It'll pause and wait for like a kid to answer, and Axel will just sit there and be like, bitch, I'm not answering you. He doesn't say that, but he gives that look. Axel does not swear. He gets in trouble if he does. And then Dora will be like, no, really, what's this shape? And it's like, I'm like, it's a goddamn square, okay? Just move on, Dora.
Yeah, it's like Blue's Clues and stuff, and like Sesame Street would always do stuff like that, where they'd ask a question to the audience, and they'd pause for like 5 seconds, and then they'd be like, good job! Like, it is a square. But I'm like, what if the person there said like a triangle? Yeah. Like, they're going to be confused. They're going to be like me, like, what the fuck? Like, the fuck's going on?
Suddenly you make more sense, Patrick.
Yeah, it's all coming into fruition now. All right. Can we talk about when this episode aired? Do you know the air date, or do I need to actually?
Yes, when did it air?
All right, it all happened on a Tuesday, February 21st, 1978. We're in the dead of winter. It's still cold out, still chilly. We're gearing up for fall, maybe. I mean, spring, not fall. The fuck am I talking about? Maybe had one of those seasonably warm days, like those, like late February. It's like 70 degrees, and you're like, everyone's like, wow, this is fun.
Love those days.
Yeah, but it's Tuesday, and it's probably not. It's probably cold as fuck. But I will have to say, I know I say this every week, but this is a wild night of television. That's all I got to say.
Oh my god, it's a wild night of television.
Yeah, we have done or talked about most of the stuff that is on this night, so it's...
Ooh, I like when that happens.
And this is one of those weird nights where I only got like half the schedule, so I only have ABC and CBS. I don't have NBC, so this is like one of those randos. So
NBC, what you had in, boo? What you had in?
I don't know. Like I feel like when we get into 70s and early 80s, this like my little TV source like is incomplete. So I don't know.
I feel like it's always NBC that's missing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something. Well, wasn't this like the dark times for NBC? Didn't they have like a rough patch?
Yeah, this was not a hot time for NBC.
Yeah, like the forgotten years. Because I think didn't they start like swallowing up like other shows from other networks that like ABC wanted to cancel shows, and then NBC would like scoop them up in hopes of rebranding? And
maybe
I remember reading that at one point in time.
Yeah, probably.
Was it who was the guy that like brought NBC back? Was it Warren Littlefield? Was that him?
No, it was Brandon Tartikoff.
Oh, Tartikoff. Yeah, that's right. It was like early. It was like mid 80s, right? It was like 1983, 84 ish. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, NBC was like a hot property again. Mm-hmm. Saturday Night Live was back. Lorne Michaels was back on the air, and I don't know, we're gearing up for must-see TV. What do you want to talk about? ABC first? Want to get into the alphabet?
Let's hit up with the alphabet first.
All right. Any guesses? What might have been on? And
I have no idea. I honestly don't know what was on this night.
Well, Monday, Tuesday, happy days. Here we are. Saturday is great. These days are all.
Love happy days. I was like talking to a coworker the other day who's not that much younger than me. Like, they didn't know who the Fonz was, and I was like, I have to walk away from you now.
Yeah. Author Fonzarelli.
I'm sorry, there's no excuse not to know who Fonzie is. Hello, we grew up with Happy Days in syndication.
Yeah.
Fonzie was everywhere.
This one sounds like a Fonzie-centric episode. You ready for the episode description?
Yeah, give it to me.
All right, this one. Fonzie recalls his experience as a gang leader to convince Chachi that it's not so cool to be a member of a street gang. Ooh, God, wild times.
Ooh.
I'm guessing Chachi probably got mixed up with the wrong crowd, and he wanted to, I don't know, rob old ladies and steal their wallets and purses and stuff. And Fonzie's like, no, dude.
Probably.
No, you can't do that, Chachi.
Like, what was the gang in Milwaukee, Wisconsin doing in the 50s anyway?
I don't know.
50s and 60s.
Maybe they were like drawing dicks on park benches. Who knows? Who knows?
Seriously, what stupid stuff did Fonzie do besides maybe shoplift?
I don't know. Maybe rough up some I don't know, like preppies or something. Who knows? Made fun of squares. All right.
Maybe.
You want to stay in Milwaukee? You want to stay in Milwaukee for ABC 8:30?
I'm going to guess we will because it's Laverne and Shirley.
Hell yeah! Best friends, roommates, and polar opposites, Laverne DeFazio and Shirley Feeney work together at the Schatz Brewery in Milwaukee and keep each other's spirits up at home, starring our gal pals, Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams. Yeah, girl. Yeah. R.I.P. Penny Marshall, miss ya. Ouija board us. Ouija board us.
What's up, girl?
Yeah, Laverne and Shirley's one of my faves. I haven't seen it in a while. I'm definitely gonna get the complete series on DVD though. I'm in this really like kick where I want to just scoop up all like the complete series of like old faves on DVD. So I don't know. This one's a def getter. You ready for ABC 9 o'clock?
Yes, what's on at 9?
Three's Company 2. Yeah, come and knock on my door. My door.
Come and knock on my door.
All right.
We were waiting for you.
All right. Before we get into it, I just want to talk about. I love the Three's Company theme song. I just want to throw that out there. It's just very, very comforting, very, very peaceful, relaxing. I would like listen to it at a spa, like I was at a spa.
See, you would listen to the Three's Company one, and I would listen to like ER and Doogie Howser one.
Also very comforting. And
Yes.
Of
course, you know the ultimate comfort ones are the Golden Girls and Cheers.
Cheers is definitely probably the top. I don't know. I was always like tickled by the Facts of Life theme song to it. I don't know. Just always kind of like relaxed me, set me in the mood for the girls at Eastland. All right, I'm excited about ABC 9:30. I just got this on DVD, complete series. We've done it before. We've talked about it. We've done it. Oh God, soap. Yeah, girl, soap. Yeah, the story of two sisters. That's all I gotta say. Listen to our soap episode. And I don't know. I'm ready to get back into this world. Maybe in a couple of months, maybe we'll revisit it. Maybe we'll do like a season 2 episode and do like a recap of what's happened in between the first episode and season 2. And
I love it.
Hang out with the Tates and the Campbells. Yeah, and Benson. Yeah, Benson. All right. You ready for ABC 10 o'clock?
Yes, what's on at 10 o'clock?
All right. We've talked about this before, I think in the soap episode, in the hot lawsuit against Spell and Television about the show Family. Yeah, Family.
Okay, yes, I know we talked about it.
Yeah, this was, for anyone who didn't listen to the soap episode, this was an American television drama that aired on ABC from 76 to 80. The control of the show was split among Leonard Goldberg, Aaron Spelling, and Mike Nichols. It starred our gal pal, Meredith Baxter Burney, and it focused on the life and times of a happy married middle-class couple living in Pasadena and followed the trials and tribulations that was their wild life. And it often dealt with...
Didn't we just talk about this like 2 weeks ago?
We talked about something else with Meredith Baxter and David Burney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a sitcom, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, didn't we just talk about Meredith Baxter like in the All in the Family episode?
Yeah, this was Meredith Baxter pre-Burney.
Oh, okay.
But she was in that show with David Burney, and they got married for a little period of time, and I don't know, they were a duo, they were a hot item, and then they divorced, and she became a sexy lesbian. Yeah, shout out to Meredith Baxter Burney. What does she go by now? She has like a different last name now, right?
Meredith Baxter, I think.
Did she go back to Baxter?
I think so, yeah. Like, I just know she shows up in like Hallmark movies now as like Haley Burton's mom.
Yeah, I always just associate her as Meredith Baxter Burney because of Family Ties. That's just like names stuck in my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was Family. It was a fun show. I'm like, it's a fun show. I've never fucking seen it, but it sounds fun.
I mean, it was created by the king of TV.
It was one of those shows that dealt with topical issues of the time, and I guess they had a so-called quote-unquote very special episode. So it was around that boom that was about to invade America. So watch out, Different Strokes. Watch out.
Okay.
All right. You ready for CBS? Ready to head over to the TIFF network? Ready to hang out with Tiffany?
Yes.
All right. I'm excited about this one. All right. CBS, 8 o'clock. Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I guess there was a show, Challenge of the Sexes, that pitted men and women against each other. But twice a year for like 3 years, they did a celebrity version in which celebrities competed in various athletic contests to determine which is the superior sex. So I got a list of the stars who've been in it over the years. You ready for a hot list?
Oh, God, yes. Give it to me.
All right, I'm going to give it to you hard. Rob Ryder, Red Fox, Ed Asner, Gabe Kaplan, Penny Marshall, and brace yourself, O.J. Simpson playing ping pong. Yeah, ping pong. So I looked up like a YouTube clip. I looked it up on YouTube, and I saw a clip of O.J. Simpson playing fucking ping pong, and I was like, what the fuck? This is like...
Oh my God.
So we have like Celebrity Big Brother, we have like Dance with the Stars now, and they get like, I feel like they get like C and D listers, but like Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes, like they had like actual stars of the time. Like Rob Ryder was like a hot commodity. Penny Marshall's on like Laverne and Shirley, so I'm like, whoa, like, like you got the fucking like B and A listers, like, whoa,
Well, okay, so like I think for like a Dancing with the Stars thing, they always also try to get some up and coming people who are like, are on maybe a show on the network and they're trying to like, they think they're gonna be a big thing.
Oh yeah.
Or they're like someone, like that's why they always have like some kid from the Disney Channel, but they never pick the right kids from the Disney Channel. They never pick the right kids, and then it's always the annoying kid on the show that nobody actually likes.
Yeah,
and
I never
pick the right people.
I never know who any of these people are, and then when you watch these shows, it's like they're like they star fuck the fuck out of them, like James Maslow on Celebrity Big Brother, and he's like they're talking about how he's this big like the boy band cutie, and like what the fuck, like who is this guy, who are these fucking people, like what the fuck?
Okay, yeah. The only reason I even knew who James Maslow was for Celebrity Big Brother was because he'd been on Dancing with the Stars. That's how I knew him, and that's like why I had watched him and stuff, because I was like, oh, he's kind of charming. Let me see if I like him as an actor.
I remember you talking about him. I think you watched all his I don't know, his fucking TV movies. So you were in that. Where you were definitely star fucking the fuck out of him. Let's be real. You got.
Like I think he did I found one movie he did, which actually wasn't bad. It was like an independent thing.
You want to be an indie darling?
Yeah.
Watch out, Casey Affleck. James Maslow's coming for you. Ooh God, Manchester by the Sea. Too Manchester, too furious. I don't know. All right, you ready for CBS 9 o'clock?
Yeah, I was on at 9.
All right, you ready for one of those rips from the headlines made for TV movies? Because I know you are.
Ooh, you know I love those bitches.
All right, so tonight, CBS presents A Question of Guilt.
Okay.
All right, are you familiar with an actress by the name of Tuesday Weld? Do you know Tuesday Weld? Because I don't.
Yes.
Who's Tuesday Weld?
She was in Dobie Gillis, dude.
Oh yeah, Dobie Gillis.
Played the hot chick that Dobie was drooling over.
The many loves of Dobie Gillis, and one of them was Tuesday Weld. Well, now it's 1978. It's probably 15, almost 20 years later, and CBS scooped her up for A Question of Guilt. And this is inspired by the Alice Crimmins case in New York. Do you know that Alice Crimmins case?
No, not off the top of my head, but I think I've probably listened to a podcast about it.
Yeah, probably. Well, they changed her name to Doris Winters. She played an attractive woman whose personal lifestyle is viewed by many as distasteful when she is accused of murdering her young daughter.
Ooh.
So I guess I briefly looked into this. So I guess there was this young girl was killed. They suspected it was the daughter, and then she would show up to the court trial dressed very hot and very attractive, and people felt it was distasteful, and I don't know. Wild times is all I gotta say. I didn't read the outcome of the case because I wanted to surprise myself.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna save myself for the My Favorite Murder episode. Who knows? Maybe our gal pals will talk about it on My Favorite Murder, or I don't know. Maybe last podcast on the left. Who knows?
I'm gonna have to look that case up later.
Maybe we'll find this movie on YouTube. Maybe it'll be on Amazon because Amazon Prime now has this library of old made for TV movies that we haven't even dipped into it yet, but we're gearing up for it. Get ready for a made-for-TV movie March coming at you.
Which is not going to happen because Patrick always makes these promises.
Well, I don't know. One day, maybe once you hit year 5, we're gearing up for year 5. We're gonna do theme year. That was that night. We don't know what was on NBC. Apparently, a void of nothing. Who knows? Maybe Johnny Carson just all night long. We don't know.
It was just a cat playing the piano.
Ooh, you know what? I'd watch that. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10. How many sexy thumbs would you give this night of television? How many thumbs up?
It's a pretty good night. This is the kind of night I definitely would have stayed in and been I'm watching TV tonight.
Yeah, I definitely would have been on ABC.
I watched my soap. I gotta watch my Three's Company.
Yeah, I definitely would have been all over ABC. And then in between commercials, I'd probably check out Celebrity Sex Challenge. Celebrity Sex Challenge? Whoa.
Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah, whatever it's called. And maybe I check out that Hot Tuesday Weld movie and commercials too. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great night. I give it 10 sexy thumbs up. That's all I got to say. 10 eggplant emojis.
Oh my.
You ready? You ready to knock on my door? You want to taparoo?
Come and knock on my door.
I got some fun facts. I got some Three's Company fun facts. You want to blow through these real quick?
Yeah, let's set up these fun facts. Let's see what you found.
We probably know many of them. We've talked about it before. Three's Company came from a British sitcom called Man About the House. It was the same concept. It was just Americanized. And I don't know. I felt like the American version is better. I've dipped into the BBC version. And, I don't know. Just one of those things like that type of humor I don't get.
I mean, the BBC has a very special style.
Yeah, it's very hit or miss. BBC is very hit or miss for me. Let's be real.
Honestly, BBC stuff is so short when you think about it.
Yeah, like their shows are only like...
You miss a lot of the character work.
Yeah, they only do like 3 or 4 seasons, and like each season's like 6 episodes long, and like by the time you get into the groove, it's done.
Yeah.
It's over, and
yeah.
I don't know, you're itching for more, but us fucking greedy Americans, we'll just string that shit out for 10 years with like 30 episode seasons, so ooga.
Exactly.
You ready for fun fact number deuce?
Yes.
Jack Tripper was almost played by Billy Crystal. Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Billy Crystal auditioned for the role. Like, okay, just imagine there's an alternate universe. Jack Tripper is played by Billy Crystal, and Jodie Dallas is played by John Ritter.
Ooh, I'd like to go to that universe for like a weekend. Catch up over there. Who knows?
I want to know about that universe big time.
You think John Ritter's in City Slickers 2, The Quest for Curly's Gold? You think he's in that movie?
It's that one swap, and they've got completely different. They've got each other's careers. Could you imagine?
Yeah, Freaky Friday.
To be fair, they both have really good careers.
They did. They're very illustrious, and Billy Crystal, I feel like, is still he still chimes every now and then. They throw him in some hot number.
Yeah, like Billy Crystal shows up at something. I'm like, oh yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'll watch me some Billy Crystal.
All right, you ready for fun fact number 3?
Yes.
All right, the writer of the Three's Company theme song also wrote the Sesame Street song. Ooga.
The Electric Company.
Oh yeah, shout out to that. All right.
Which I don't think I've ever actually seen.
Yeah, I've seen clips of the Electric Company, and I always see it in those like Remember the 70s, like those like VH1 retrospective shows.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, or like a Family Guy joke.
It was done by the time we were watching TV.
You ready for the next fun fact?
Yes.
All right. Norman Fell, who played Mr. Roper, they basically like forced him to leave the show for the spin-off, The Ropers. Mm-hmm. But before he left, the producers made a promise that in case the Ropers came to an end, he would be allowed to be back on the Three's Company cast. Unfortunately, the producers didn't keep their end of the promise. And I don't know, Mr. Furley came in and that was it. Mr. Roper just like vanished. I think he came back for like an episode or 2, but...
Well, okay. Like they said, if the Ropers don't last, if they don't last more than a season, we'll bring you guys back. But then the Ropers lasted a season, got canceled in their second season.
Oh, loophole.
And Norman Fell was like, okay, let's go back. And they're like, yeah, no, we've moved on.
Yeah, loophole. Sorry, girl. Sorry.
To be fair, like, the guys behind Three's Company, the actual, like, production team, they were all kinds of sketchy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like one of those, like, unauthorized, like, made-for-TV movies, like, about Three's Company, and it's pretty shady.
It's really shady, but let's remember that Joyce DeWitt, Suzanne Summers, and John Ritter all got to have input on that movie.
If you want to talk about shady business moves, you ready for some more? And fun fact number 5?
Yeah, let's hear some more.
All right. Suzanne Summers, she wanted to have the same pay as her male co-star, and they were like, no way, girl, no way.
Yeah.
And she fucking left the show over a fucking pay dispute. So, God, you go, girl. I'm fucking proud of you.
Like, well, to be fair, like, I think, like, the guy she was married to at the time was also kind of shady about, like, the way he had her handle everything.
Oh, really?
Because, like, I think she was in her second marriage at that point, and the guy was acting as her manager, and he was, like, kind of shady, if I remember correctly. From watching that TV movie back in the day.
All right, maybe we'll have to find that movie and get the true story. True story. We'll have to figure it out.
It's on YouTube.
Well, maybe we'll watch it this weekend. We'll have Three's Company made for TV weekend. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. You ready for the final fun fact? The very final fun fact I have. All right. Speaking of Suzanne Summers,
yeah.
In the opening credits, we see a beautiful woman walk past Tripper as he is on his bike. and then he loses his balance and fall off. That woman was Suzanne Summers wearing a black wig. Ooga. Yeah, ooga, wild stuff. Wild stuff. And
Yep.
I always, like, when I think of Three's Company, that is, like, the image I have in my mind is Jack Tripper, like, losing his balance and falling off his 10 speed.
Yes.
Great iconic theme song and going down, like, the boardwalk.
It's an iconic opening. Like, all the versions are really great. Even the one they did when they added Terry at the zoo.
Oh, yeah. Terry at the zoo.
And then you get Jason Ritter as the little baby who runs up to Joyce DeWitt. Like, I always wondered, like, why they let this random baby be in this opening, and now it makes sense. It was John Ritter's son, Jason.
Yeah, Jason Ritter, young buck coming into the world, and now he's a star.
Yes.
What's he in now? He's in something right now, right?
No, I think that got canceled.
What was it? What was it?
Kevin Saves the World.
Oh, yeah. That's not on anymore?
No.
Oh, that was that year that we had, like, 2 shows with the word Kevin in the title. It was Kevin Can't Wait and
Yeah.
Kevin Saves the Universe or something.
And neither of them are on anymore.
Yeah, sorry, Kevin. Sorry, Kevin couldn't make it to the club. This is the No Kevin's club. This is a No Kevin zone.
This is for Aaron Hayes.
Yeah, still looking out for you, Aaron Hayes. Come on the show. Come on the show and tell your story. Tell us all about how you were, like, forced out of Kevin Can't Wait.
Arlena Remini, you're still a gal pal, but justice for Aaron Hayes.
You ready for some days of beer and wine? Or weed, not wine. Weed, sorry. Take us into this world, Kat Halstead, the author. Take us into this world.
Okay, so we start off with the gang's just hanging out in their apartment. They're watching, like, a beauty pageant. Jack's goofing around. The girls are like, this is really, like, not okay the way these women are being paraded. And then Jack starts, like, parading around like he's one of those beauty queens. Like, he puts, like, something in to fake some boobs and parading around. And, of course, guess who shows up knocking on the door when Jack's like this? Mr. Roper.
Yeah, Jack finds, like, there's, like, a fruit bowl in front of the TV, and he just grabs, like, 2, like, tangerines or something.
Yeah.
And he makes, like, fake titties, and he's, like, parading around, and he's, like, the doorbell rings, and I love, like, he opens the door, and Mr. Roper's face when he sees, like, Jack with, like, fake titties. It's fucking great.
It's funny. He's like, okay, it's, like, Tuesday night. Okay, thanks, Jack. Like, he's not even, like, that surprised. Like, he's like, okay, it's another Tuesday with this weird gay man upstairs.
So, yeah, he comes in, and he's like, hey, guys, I got some big news for you. He's like, we're finally gonna, we're gonna make a garden in that little, like, patch of grassy knoll that's, like, behind the garage. And they're like, oh, you mean, like, that, like, wild, bushy area that's, like, overgrown with, like, fucking weeds and, I don't know, like, overgrown trees and shit?
Yeah, that jungle back there?
Yeah. And Mr. Roper's like, yeah, we are. And guess what? You guys are going to do it. And they're like, no. I'm like, no, girl, no. But they're like, if you don't do it, then I'm going to, like, raise your rent. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Like, what the fuck, Mr. Roper? You're fucking, like, a slumlord or something.
Yeah, he's always, like, blackmailing them into stuff.
Yeah, like, isn't that, like, a recurrent theme for Mr. Roper? Like, he's always, like, tricks them into doing his dirty work.
He's always like, do this or I'm going to raise the rent.
Yeah.
Basically.
I don't know. I feel like they should have got a fucking lawyer. They should have fucking lawyered up and, I don't know, like, looked at, like, fucking landlord laws or something and try to figure out, like, do we have rights here? Can Mr. Roper threaten fucking raising the rent on us if we don't, like, I don't know, fucking trim his hedges?
Yeah, like, every time, every week, it's something else with this man.
They agree to it because they don't want to pay extra money per month. Meanwhile, Mr. Roper is, I guess he's like a craft beer connoisseur.
I guess, like, he got, like, some beer, make your own beer kit, and he's doing it in the middle of the freaking living room.
Yeah, he has like he has like all his like gear out on the coffee table. I don't know, do that shit in the kitchen. What the fuck?
I know, right? Like, you do that at the kitchen. Why are you doing it in the living room where your wife is, like, doing her flower arrangement? Come on, man.
Yeah, it's hobby night at the Ropers because Mrs. Roper's in a fucking flower arranging class. She would do that too. That's like totally like a Mrs. Roper move. But hold on. I want to talk about, have you ever bought one of those like beer making kits?
I may have bought one for 1 year.
Oh my god, it fucking makes a mess. It fucking stinks to high heavens.
So, like, when I was a kid, my dad was into making his own beer, and I remember it would always smell, like, awful. And I was always like, why would people drink it? This is what it smells like.
Oh yeah, it fucking smells awful. The fucking homemade beer tastes like fucking garbage too. Ugh. Like I'd rather drink that like watered down Coors Light shit. Like what the fuck? I'm not drinking. I got one of those beer making kits for Christmas one year, and I was all excited, and it was a giant waste of time, giant waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
Save yourself like $20 and just get a fucking 12-pack, girl. Just get a fucking 12-pack.
Let's go get some freaking ska. All
right.
And you're all good.
Yeah. So we get this little this is like the setup. This is like the setup for the whole fucking calamity of the episode. Mrs. Roper's in a flower arrangement class. Mr. Roper's making beer, and the fucking gang, the Three's Company gang, has to go outside and fucking, I don't know, cut down fucking sticks and weed the fucking jungle out there. And can we talk about the set of the backyard? Like, I think this is like the only time we ever see this set.
Yeah, I think it's the only time we ever see this.
All right, it's that thing where the background is like a painting, like it's like a big like screen of I guess like the back of a garage, and we get like fake plants, like they're just standing in a bunch of fake plants. They're all like in the scene, like they're all in the same scene, but they're in like different parts of this jungle of twigs. And I've always wondered this. Do you ever wonder the layout of the apartment? Do you ever like wonder what it looks like from the outside?
Yeah. Always, okay, you really need me obsessing over another. I'm still obsessing over the Brady Bunch.
Let's be real. Like, we only ever see Jack's apartment, the Roper's apartment, Furley's apartment. Do we ever see Larry's apartment?
Once in a while.
Once in a while. And then
they do go up there, like, visit Larry, like, if Jack is hiding from the girls.
Yeah. And the only time we're ever outside, it's just, like, outside the door. Like, we're never, like, in, like, a quad area. We're never in, like, a parking lot. It's like...
Yeah.
I just always, like, wonder, is this, like, one giant building, or is this multiple buildings?
Question. I think the way it's supposed to look is, like, it's one building, but maybe it's, like, one of those outdoor kind of buildings.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like maybe, like, a Melrose Place type complex. Like, that's what I always, like, pictured in my mind.
Sort of, but not... I don't think it has a pool or anything cool like that.
Yeah, like, maybe there's just, like a bench in the middle.
Could you imagine Mr. Roper taking care of a pool?
Ugh, no. He would make Jack, Chrissy, and Janet do it. Let's be real, girl.
Yeah.
We get, like, another piece of this puzzle because... Mr. Roper mentions that this jungle area is, like, behind the garages, plural garages. So I'm like, whoa, there's, like, garages. Like, not just one, but multiple. So, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I need to know, like, about this land he owns. Like, whoa, he's in charge, large and in charge.
I don't know. It's just really weird.
Yeah, I need to know. I need, like a bird's eye view of what this place looks like. If anyone out there is, like, an artist, I want, like, an artist rendition. I want to commission some work of like what the Three's Company, like, homes look like. Like, what's it look like? I need to know. And what's it near? Like, we know it's near the Regal Beagle, but, like, where in Santa Monica is this? Like, where is it? By the beach?
It's near the beach.
Yeah, because they're always at the beach, at least in the theme song. I don't know. Do they ever go to the beach during the show? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, they'll go to the beach all the time.
There's down by the seashore selling seashells.
Yeah.
What happens next, girl? What happens next?
So the gang, like, is cleaning out this garden, and are all not very bright. Like, Jack cuts up a hose, or no, one of them cuts up a hose thinking it's a snake, and then Jack accidentally, like, shoves through his shoe and just barely misses, like, taking out a toe.
Yeah, he, like, scrapes his toe or something.
Yeah.
He does something to his toe, because after that, it's, like, later on in the day, they finish the job. Oh, wait, hold on. Before they finish the job, they find, like, a bunch of, Chrissy, like, sees a little patch of, plants, and at the, earlier in the episode, Mrs. Roper was talking about she needed some type of green plant to like, offset the colors of her flower arrangement for, like, the flower show.
She's like, I need something green.
So Susie finds, not Susie, Chrissy finds a little, like, green plant, like a miscellaneous green plant. She brings it back, and she puts it in a vase until, I don't know, she gets to meet up with the Ropers later.
Where are you? What episode did you watch? There was no putting it in a vase. You've got everything mixed up.
No, there's definitely, like, a little, like, in the coffee table.
Okay, yeah, that's later. That is later. They stop by the Ropers after Jack has, like, injured himself, all that. They're like, okay, we're done for the day. It's like noon or something. And that's when Mr. Roper gives him the beer that is full of hops.
All right, I just had a flashback of what actually happened. All right, you're right. I remember things out of order. My mind's like...
Yeah, you're totally out of order, and I'm trying to, like, let it go, but I couldn't do it anymore. Okay?
I like, see things, like, out of order, like an episode of Alias. That's me.
Okay, so, on track. So they stopped by the Ropers and were like, we're done. We've done everything we can for the day, yada, yada. I hope this is okay. This is everything we can do. We have other stuff we have to do with our lives. And then Mrs. Roper's like, Stanley, give them something for doing this. And Stanley's like, I wasn't going to raise the rent.
But he has to give something, so he gives Jack a bunch of his bottled beers. He gives him like 3 or 4 or something, right?
He gives Jack some of the beer, and even though it's like gross bitter, Jack is drinking it to numb away the pain in his foot.
Oh, yeah, because he hurt his foot.
Yeah.
And he's just like pounding bears, just pounding this like shitty, cheap-ass bear that Mr. Roper like put together. And that's when Larry comes in. We get a Larry cameo.
No, you're jumping ahead. So the kids go home. Janet leaves because she's the florist. This is important.
Okay.
And then Larry comes by to borrow money from Jack, and Jack's drinking the beers, and Chrissy's arranging like what's left of the weeds that she found in the garden. And Larry's like, oh my God, you guys got to get rid of this. You can't have this. Where did you find it? And they're like, what? He's like, this is cannabis.
And I love that they don't know what cannabis is.
And then he's like, you guys, it's marijuana.
And they're shook. They're shook to the core.
Like, not gonna lie, this is how I learned that marijuana was a thing and it was illegal.
Through Three's Company?
Well, it's from this episode of Three's Company.
I do remember seeing this when I was little, and I think it definitely went over my head. I thought it was like, in my mind, I thought it was like poison ivy. Like, I was like, oh, they're gonna get itchy from it.
Yeah.
They might get like a fucking weird like sores.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. And then I was later when I had heard about marijuana from I was like, oh, that's why Jack and Chrissy freaked out.
Yeah, you probably saw that cartoon All Stars for the Rescue special, and we're like, oh yeah, it all makes sense now.
It all makes sense. Thanks, Pooh Bear. Will keep me off the smack.
I love that, like, Chrissy and Jack, they're like, oh, we're gonna get rid of this, and like they try to give it to Larry. Larry like just runs out of there, and like their immediate response is like, let's go to the police. Let's just like fucking bring it to the police department.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just fucking like throw it in the garbage or something? Like, what the fuck?
Like Chrissy's like, should we take it to the police? And Jack's like, no. And then what did they do? They go to the police.
Yeah. So
what happens? Jack gets arrested for riding his bike while drunk.
Yeah, they ride their little like bikes down to the police station. They show up. And they do that thing, like, they walk in, there's just, like, that one, like, police officer that's, like, sitting at the desk, and they're like, I'd like to report a crime. And he's like, what? And he's like, we found drugs. And he's like, what? You found drugs? And, the police officer, he's, like, not the brightest police officer, let's be real.
No, there's reason he's on the desk.
Jack and Chrissy, they're not great at explaining themselves. They make it seem like they're the ones, like, in possession of the drugs. It's not like, they don't know how to explain that they came across it, like, accidentally. They're just like, oh, we're in possession of drugs. And he's like, what? You're in possession of drugs?
Yeah.
And then he's like, have you been drinking? And Chrissy's like, he's only had a couple of beers. And he's like, what? You've been drinking and you rode a bike? He's like, oh my God, you're under arrest. Like, you're immediately arrested for like drunk driving a bike and possession of marijuana. And I was like, what?
God, total misunderstanding. Total Three's Company. Classic.
Yeah, and like they can't even like talk their way out of this. It's fucking like hard. Like I'm just befuddled by the way like they handle situations. I can't sometimes. I can't.
Like how I can't handle you sometimes.
You ever like watch shows like this? You're like, oh, like this whole situation could have been avoided if they just went out to the fucking dumpster that's like probably by the garages and just threw the fucking plants in there.
Yeah.
Like that's all they had to do.
Yeah.
But then, fucking, to make things worse, like Jack finally gets like bailed out. They go back home. Chrissy's like, oh, what about Mrs. Roper? She brought she brought the weed plant to her like art show, like her little like flower show.
It gets worse.
And they're like, we need to warn Mrs. Roper. We're now at the art show, and there's only like let's be real, like they show like the art show, and I only see like one other person in the background. It's just like Mrs. Roper and like one other contestant
who's working with clay.
Yeah, and there's like a judge. I guess she's going from like person to person, and
yeah, there's like who's Mrs. Roper's teacher. But Stanley's like, oh, you're gonna win, and we're gonna get our picture in the paper. Like he wants the promotion for himself, like that picture. Careful what you wish for, Mr. Roper. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna say nothing good has ever happened to you, so why is it gonna happen today? He has that like Al Bundy curse,
yeah,
where like things start to get good, and then
he really does.
Like lightning strikes, and nope. Sorry, girl. Sorry. Jack calls up like the flower show. Like apparently he has like the phone number. Like he knows like where to call.
Even like okay, so it's like at the community college. That's where it is. So he can look it up. like the phone book and try and get a hold of like somebody in that like building and be like, I have to talk with Mrs. Roper. She's part of the flower arranging class. So like somebody can direct that call.
Okay, yeah. So there's this guy and he's walking around the art show, whatever the fuck it is, and he finds the Ropers, but like the judge is with. Like, the judge is about to come over to look at it, so Mrs. Roper didn't want to, like, take the call. So Mr. Roper takes the call.
Yeah.
And, like, we only get Mr. Roper's side of the call. Like, he's like, can a what?
Yeah.
Can a bus? Like, the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, wait, marijuana? Oh, no. So he, like, runs over to Mrs. Roper's flower arrangement, and he, like, I don't know, like, smothers it and like ruins her arrangement. It gets like all her plants are crushed.
He grabs a thing of clay from like somebody else. Okay, my question though is why does somebody have like pliable clay? Like were they doing a demonstration? He just throws this whole like block of clay, like probably like 5 pounds of clay on top of this flower display.
I don't know. Maybe they had like they wanted to keep the kids busy of the participants of the exhibit, so like the kids can play with the clay. Like while the parents are showing off their artwork.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I was like, why did Mr. Roper just take the marijuana plant out of the arrangement and then just like toss it in the trash? Because
it was the first thing he could think of, and Mrs. Roper was right there, and he didn't want her hitting him for taking just that plant out.
Yeah. So he crushes the Mrs. Roper's arrangement just as the judge comes over, and the judge is like, like that would have been a nice arrangement, especially with these nice false Aurelias.
Yeah.
And Mr. Roper was like, the what? And he's like, yeah, these like false Aurelias right here. And she pulls out like what they thought was the marijuana plants. And then Mrs. Roper is pissed, so she picks up like the clay or something and like bops him over the head. And that's just when the photographer takes the picture.
Yep.
Yeah, just at that moment, fucking Candid shot.
Yes.
Candid, you're on Candid camera, girl.
And then it's in the paper.
Then we cut over to the big reveal. You ready for the big reveal?
Yeah, I'm ready for this big reveal.
All right, so we're coming down. We're at the climax. Get ready to climax. We're back in the apartment. We're back with Jack and the gang, and I guess he gets the news. He gets the news because the Ropers are over, and they're talking about I can't believe you lost the art festival thing. And Mrs. Roper's like, yeah, but you still got your face in the paper. And he's like, yeah, but I'm too bad I'm getting like slapped across the face. I'm the talk of the town now. And that's when Janet comes in, Janet the florist.
Yeah.
All right, we'll let you say it.
So Janet's like, you guys, this isn't cannabis. This is false Aurelia or whatever it's called. And they're like, well, we wouldn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, who told you it was cannabis? They're like, Larry. And she just kind of looks at them. She's like, guys, you can tell the difference because this is cannabis. You did actually have.
Yeah, so there was like a
piece.
Few pulled weeds that were actually cannabis, so it's wild.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild stuff. So then they like run out of the apartment, and like that's when we get like the freeze frame. So it's just like, oh, so they now they have to get rid of cannabis. So now what are they gonna do?
I guess we'll find out next time. No, we won't.
They don't go to jail, so I guess all's good, right?
Yeah.
They don't go to jail.
All's good.
Yeah. So that's Days of Beer and Weed.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good episode of Three's Company. I've definitely seen better. But it was a fun one.
I mean, it's what I remember watching as a kid.
Yeah,
like distinctly.
We get the classic situation where they find themselves in like a tough predicament that they have to try to like squeeze their way out of, but they just keep making it worse.
Yeah.
Which is like the classic Three's Company formula. Let's be real.
It is.
I would have loved a one where like Jack is on 2 dates and he has to keep his dates in like 2 sides of the apartment, which is another classic Three's Company situation.
Which only Jack could get into. Like, the girls never got into stupid stuff like that.
Like, you know what? Like, low-key, I just want to put fucking, like, Jack on, like, Xanax or something. Like, just something to calm his fucking nerves for, like, an hour or two. Like, he just needs to fucking chill sometimes. Like, Jack today would be on so many meds. Let's be real.
Oh, totally.
He'd
be no fun, though.
Yeah, that's it. Like, there'd be no sitcom. It would just be, like, a calm Jack is at home watching TV, maybe goes and gets the paper, has a very relaxing night at the Regal Beagle, no shenanigans, comes home and goes to bed and goes to work the next day. That wouldn't be a show.
God, I missed the Regal Beagle in this episode, though.
Yeah, would have loved a Regal Beagle cameo. Maybe next time. Maybe we'll pick a Regal Beagle app next time.
Next time.
All right. Any last minute thoughts on Three's Company or Three's a Crowd or the Ropers?
This show is a classic.
Yeah, classic.
It's a classic show. It's a lot of crap because it's not intellectual or whatever.
Yeah.
But god damn it, sometimes you just want to sit and watch a show and laugh.
Yeah, it's
That's all you want to do.
It's mindless entertainment. It's not like highbrow comedy. It's pretty lowbrow. It's just there to make it's just there to make you giggle. That's all it is. It's not supposed to be like a smart comedy.
Yeah.
Classic sitcom. It's classic fun shenanigans. That's all we need in this life of sin.
Like, it's one of those shows that's there and you can laugh and feel better about your day and enjoy it. And honestly, even though, sure, there's probably, some situations that maybe it's not appropriate for all kids, but let's be real, we watched this as kids, and it went over our heads.
Yeah, it was on at 7 o'clock at night in syndication. It was on right after dinner.
Yeah, it was always on. I watched this show every freaking night with my grandfather and my cousins. So it was something that my grandfather, my teenage cousins, and 4-year-old me could all watch together. So
family bonding, girl. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for what we're gonna do next week? I'm excited for this one. Do you know? Do you know? Do you need?
Hold on. I'm gonna shock you, but I actually have the planner right here.
Wow, you actually brought the planner with you to the recording booth.
I actually have the planner.
But you're not even up to the page. You're not even on the page. What the fuck?
I know, if I can find the page.
It's literally what I look at before I record. All right, what are we doing next week?
I'm where is this page? It's in here. I saw it last night.
We've done this show before. We're going back into this world. We're gonna hang with the Stevers, so we're gonna get thick again. Yeah. We're going to fucking growing pains land. And last time we did a dream sequence episode. This time,
yeah, we did the episode where Ben gets his tonsils out.
Yeah, but this time we're getting serious. We're doing a very special growing pains, super serious.
Yes.
So remember that year they brought in Matthew Perry for a fun story arc with where he's dated Tracy Gold's character.
Yeah.
And I know you thought they were going to be an item forever, but no, he gets into a fucking car wreck and dies. Yeah, we're doing that episode, the death of Matthew Perry in Growing Pains Land. Oh my god, fucking tearjerker. What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
No one can die on sitcoms. Yeah, who the fuck dies on a sitcom?
Leave characters when they want too much money.
What are you doing to us? What are you doing? ABC.
Oh, Patrick.
They fucking pulled the rug. I can't wait to get into it because it's been a long ass time since I've seen this episode. So
I honestly don't know the last time I saw this episode.
I don't know. I might do some prep work. I might maybe watch the episodes leading up to it. Maybe get into the spirit. Maybe meet Matthew Perry all over again. Find out what he's like.
Find out who Sandy was.
Yeah, who's? Oh yeah, Sandy. His name is Sandy. A man named Sandy. That's we got a lot of famous male Sandys. We got Sandy Cohen, Sandy Koufax, Superstorm Sandy, who I always pictured as a man. Let's be real, Superstorm Sandy. You're totally a dude.
Okay.
Where can you follow our adventures, Kat Halstead, the author? Where can you follow our wild adventures?
You can follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr at A Very Special Podcast. Do not accept invitations. You can follow us at averyspecialpodcast.com. You can find us at saltyrockmedia.com. You can find us on Google, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff just by searching A Very Special Podcast.
Yes, and check us out on YouTube. We have a forthcoming docu-series about the making of our podcast. Yeah, we're going to do behind the scenes of us prepping and watching the shows and,
yeah,
I don't know, editing. So, I don't know, it's a little, we're getting a little behind the magic. So get ready, girls, get ready. And as always, Kat Halstead, the author, as always, watch the garden for weeds.